Hey, welcome back to PM with the Trigger. Happy Friday to you. The week is winding down. You probably haven't had everything completed yet, but that's okay. There's still time. Drop in once again to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, elevate you and your brand authority. That's what we do 2 PMs. We want to add value. We want to bring good content. We want you to really shine and do better and better in everything you do as an executive leader, as an entrepreneur, because media has great value. Helps me with marketing, with sales, promotion, branding, so many different areas. And more, we're leveraging media to get sales. But what are you doing with this as an executive leader, as a influencer? How are you leveraging this? Today, I want to talk a little bit about a very big question in my world as of the last several days. Are you adding value, or are you just pushing sales with everything you're producing? It's a really great question. And it's kind of messy because we want to make revenue, we want to have sales, we want to grow our clientele, but we also want to do it in a way that doesn't feel like you're pushing, shoving it down your throat, and repelling people. Adding value is about attracting people to you. The more value you add, the more expertise you show, the more they feel they can know you, like you, trust you, and that's going to help your revenue sales. So kind of like which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Or which one are you doing? Drop in the chat, join the conversation. Let me know what you're thinking here as we go through. Yesterday, I ran into this twice just in one day, part of a mastermind, great group of people. We had a brief discussion on this about pushing or pulling. Are you a magnetic personality? Are you using value to draw people to you? Or are you sell to the point where people are sick of you? And another conversation very similar to that. So think about this. We dive into this a little bit because effective communication is a skill that can make or break your partnerships, long-term relationships, your overall sales, profit, loss margins, everything like that. Your executive communication needs to be spot on, and leveraging media, social posts, all the things we do now to draw people in. Which way are you doing? Are you showing value, or are you bringing in a push for a sale? So focus on the value, work for the sales might be a good way to think about that. So let me give you a couple little tidbits here. Provide value. You want to build trust. That old saying of know, like, and trust, that's going to win you over a lot. You have to build trust, show that you are credible, show that you have the right information, the skill set, whatever that's going to be, but build that trust and work on long-term relationships. When you build trust and add value to people, they're going to feel like you're investing in me. You're really pouring into me, and you're worth hanging around. Because if you're going to invest in me, that's going to help me level up, grow my game, get better at what I do. Of course, I want you in my circle of influence. And help people problem solve. Every day, 2 p.m., we go live. Why? We want to help you problem solve. We want to help you get over the hurdles. We want to add value to what you're doing. So we use different topics. We talk about media. We talk about branding. We talk about strategy. We talk about YouTube. We talk about LinkedIn. But we're always coming back to we want to add value to what you're doing because we all know media is rapidly changing. Social media is rapidly changing. All the platforms are changing. So my hope is to help you do better with that. As we figure it out, we're going to share it with you. So you want to help people problem solve. Now, some people think problem solve turns you into a salesman now. I've got the solution. Come and buy my answers from me. No. If you're going to add value to people, you're going to give them the value, and that's it. Just value. Let them figure out that you have the resources, you have the support. You do want to mention things. Hey, I have a book. I wrote about this in my book a couple of years ago. Boom. That's very easy to add value. Not to say, I have the book, go buy the darn thing. I haven't sold it in 5 years. I need to make a book sales. Those are different ways of approaching value or the sales push. Now, with the sales push side of things, you're going to be meeting probably short-term goals. People have a need. You want to always know what their pain point is. You want to know kind of what their struggles are going, what they've tried in the past. That's part of building that relationship, hearing their story. And then often they're like, I need to fix this now. It's affecting my CRM. It's really impacting my overall sales or my branding. So Often the push for sales might be, here, I got a quick solution. I got something that will help you get through this while we work on the larger problem. Sometimes that can be pushy. Sometimes that can be seen as a great help. It's all in how you communicate it. It's all in how you bring that across. Sales targets. Sales-driven communication is commonly seen as the industry's, and it's aggressive. You know what I'm talking about. Years ago, I still remember walking to Best Buy. You got to the door of Best Buy back in the day, and they would literally meet you, grab you. What do you need? And you were on a whirlwind trip through Best Buy, and they were selling and selling and selling. Best Buy came to realize that approach was not working. And Best Buy went back to, we're going to hover around, we're going to float around, we're going to see what you're looking at, we're going to see what you're picking up and playing around with. And then Best Buy said, go up and say, hey, you have any questions about the project? Oh, they're going to problem solve. They're going to pay attention to you. They're going to build a relationship while you're playing with that Game Boy or that brand new computer. That's what it's all about. Sales can be difficult. Here comes the first comment of the afternoon. Yes, again, sales can be difficult because we need to make money to stay in business. We need to grow our business. It's all part of the game. And at the same time, you don't want to come across as too hard, too tough, too pushy. People get turned off. Like I said, Best Buy, they learned, but they went a long time doing that. We want you to feel like we saw you at the door and we're going to answer your problems, get you back out and go grab somebody else. That really was their philosophy. And they finally had to go to a much more casual, let's just work with you while you go through it. It's also going to, if you push, it's going to risk alienation. The downside of being too pushy is that you will risk people saying, I can't go back there. I won't talk to him. I won't talk to her. Pressuring too much can lead to a very damaging reputation. And you probably name one or two of your own ideas of what's been damaged, what's been hurt. Maybe your company has been. But you don't want that. You don't want people to think, wow, they smother you with a blanket. They won't give me up. How many emails you send before you give up? Best Buy was a great place to go. In fact, Best Buy had a love affair with my car. Actually, probably I had a love affair with Best Buy, but my car would magically drive in there without even knowing I was there. So I had to go in. But these are some of the things you got to think about now, because there were days I get bombarded with 3 or 4 emails from the same person. Is that really necessary? Or is that going to turn you off? To me, it's going to turn me off. I don't mind the emails, but when you keep going drop, I'm going to go click, and eventually go block. That's how that works. So being too aggressive can really, really hurt you. So let's look at more of this now. I'm going to talk about a balancing act. What if you could do a balancing act between having the relationship side and doing the sales? Is there a way to bring value? And as you bring the value, people stop and go, you know what? You really do understand this. Thank you for that tip today. Thank you for that link today. Yesterday during our mastermind, we got some incredible shared links and value from our mastermind community. It was an open share fest. Value. No one sold, no one sell. They didn't push you in. None of that stuff. And I know a lot of people are doing a great job with adding value in your newsletters, in your blog posts, in your live events. Add value to people. And then when you do that, segment out the information you get. So you may get a lot of emails. You may get a lot of new content and people coming into you. Why not come up with a organizational flow chart, so to speak, of those who are ready to buy? Maybe those who have needs and questions. Maybe those who are just kicking the tires, trying to figure out what's going on, and those that are completely lost, but they think you might be able to help them. Start creating a funnel that you know they're going to move from here to here to here. So you'll know how intense to go do the push or the pull or whatever way you like to do it. Now, here we go. Jan's coming back again with the idea of Verizon's giving great value to her. That's what you want to hear about. You want to talk about, because they'll do those customer surveys, a friend, a colleague, someone's going to ask you, hey, who would you recommend for a provider for my phone because I don't like the one I'm currently at. When you can say that to somebody, that's a value add. That's exactly what you want to do. So as you build this out, you're going to build your segmentation. You're going to have a map so you know they're questioning, it's going to save you from bombarding people. Now, education is one of the biggest value drivers you can give people. Whatever your specialty is, whatever your area of influence is, educate clients, prospective clients about the products and services that you have, but give them tips before they buy and let them know, here's why I do what you do. Here's how my service helps answer this question that you're struggling with. Bring them value and just say, we do have a solution. Don't hard sell. Don't push them. There's no DocuSign coming yet. You're just having a discussion with people. It's so much easier. So following all that, now you built your flow chart. You've kind of educated clients a little bit. You shared a link, you shared a video, whatever that may be. Then you can go to the actual follow-up. After providing all this, you're going to be able to stop and pause and say, look, what now? This is going to be nurturing the relationship. You know what? We've talked, we've wrestled with things. How are you doing with it? And then follow up. Show that you're humanly connected to them and their need. And that will be a transition point. That'll be the transition where you might be able to say, by the way, we do have that service I mentioned before, let me kind of share a little bit more about that. And if it makes sense to you, here's what it's going to take to get you started that way, but I think it's going to help you. Now, there's a difference between telling everybody that you meet, I have a solution for you and it's going to work. We all know that's salesmanship and that's a bunch of fluff. You want to be authentic. If you don't have the solution for somebody, don't try to force them into a place where you don't have the solution. Work with them with where they're really at. One of the biggest values that you can give people, so know, like, and trust is be respectful, be honest, be people of integrity. Don't do the bait and switch and say, oh, what I really meant about that program was it does this. And they don't need that program. They don't need to pay you the money. They shouldn't ever have gotten into that program. Make sure you're doing that very well. So what do you think? What are you doing these days with how you're coming across and how you're working with your clients or prospective clients? Are you more value-driven in your communication, in your drips? Are you giving good stuff away? I mean, really good stuff. There are people giving away great stuff to help you get jump-started. Trade secrets, if you will. Or are you sales? There's only 5 seats left. Get one of the last 5 seats, and you push and you drive so hard, and you wonder why you see your email list shrink and shrink and shrink. You wonder why people don't reply to your text messages. Look and evaluate where you're at and maybe find that middle point. How can you be serving up great value, giving them great tips and insights, and then how can you also bring in revenue to keep doing what you love to do? It's a juggling. It's a balancing act. Just throwing out there today, we're wrestling with it in different conversation I'm having. Is it a value-driven proposition or is it a revenue-driven conversation? Which one are you in these days? Jan's coming in again to wrap up the show here. She's supporting all this. There you go, Jan. Thank you very much on being here again for Friday's edition of 2 p.m. with the Trigger. Again, we're back every day, Monday through Friday, streaming live on multiple channels. Why? We're trying to bring you value. I hope this is valuable every day when we're here. I hope it's worth the time to drop in, watch the replay, drop in a comment, share it with a friend. That's what we're all about at Rock Stage, because we do want to help you shine on camera, shine on stage, and elevate you and your brand authority. Marketing is a big part of all of that. How we market, how we sell is a huge deal. That's going to do it for today. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday for another edition of 2 p.m. with the Trigger.